Joining us to kick off hour number 2 of this program is one of the best in the history of Wolverine football. He is one of the top prospects available in this draft in Detroit and a national champion. Great to see you, JJ McCarthy.
Honored to be here, Rich. Really appreciate you having me. Huge fan.
No, come on. Right back at you. Right back at you. So what's going through your brain right now, day before the draft here in Detroit?
It's really the calm before the storm. You know, I'm just trying to soak it all in because you only get to do this once. Obviously, you know, making my rounds with Schembecker Hall, and you're just going to every coach and just telling them how much I appreciate them for everything they've done throughout this process. And, you know, I was actually just talking to Greg Harden the other day, and, you know, huge fan of the show. He tells me to tell you that you're one of the greatest human beings and true Michigan man.
Wow.
And we're just going through this whole process of, you know, becoming a GAM, a grown-ass man. And yeah, it's a fun process, but I'm ready to get going. That's for sure.
Well, you're already that as far as I'm concerned. But so who have you taken personal visits with?
So I've taken personal visits with the New York Giants, New England Patriots, and the Washington Commanders.
Now, was that personal visit the one with 21 others?
It was,
as well?
yes. It felt like a little, you know, back in the day college recruiting visit.
Was that? It's because what was that like?
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. You know, being around the guys, the coaches, like it's such a laid-back setting, and you know, you get to show off the golf game a little bit.
I heard about that. So, what is your handicap? What is it? What do you got, man?
I don't have an official one, but I'd say I'm around a 10. Yeah.
Huh. So you're at Topgolf though with all these guys. Was it some sort of alpha male who can drive it the longest? Like that
I'm not gonna lie, Drake Bay and I were going back at it, just doing trying to get it over the net. That was the goal.
That was it.
Yeah.
Did we succeed?
No. You know, with those shafts, they're nice and flimsy, so they don't allow you to get over the top.
Blame it on the equipment. Right, I like it. I like it because it just from those on the outside looking in, it just felt like a unique way to take a look at prospect before the end of the journey. It was the last one, right?
Yes,
for you?
Yes. But supposedly Adam Pearce was talking about this was something they did back in San Fran. So
right.
Wasn't super, well, it was unique to me and to the guys there because it's obviously, you know, first time going through this, but it was a lot of fun. And I really liked the way, you know, he went about that whole process because, you know, the owner was in for 2 days and he wanted to get everyone there in those 2 days. So it was pretty special the way he handled that.
And now it's kind of the end of an era for you here in this state, you know, obviously, and an end of, a prep/college career for you, getting ready to go to the pros, man. Like this is it.
This is it. Everything you worked for, everything you dreamed of. Yeah.
In terms of working and dreaming about it, you sent me a video before I boarded the plane to get here.
Yes, sir.
And this video is what, JJ?
It's pretty much, long story short, my dad manifesting my entire life. And, it was right before I was born. And him just kind of saying, you know, going through the names and what my name was. With your mom? Yes, with my mom. And, you know, he was just like, this is going to be Daddy's little quarterback. And we
have that video. And you've not shown this anywhere?
I haven't shown it. You know, he only showed me it like 6 months ago. And I'm
really?
Like, oh, wow. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, how come I didn't see this earlier? And he said, I was just waiting, you know. He's a patient guy.
Well, everybody, it's going to get dusty wherever you are. So your dad's shooting it on a camcorder.
Yep.
On the day of your birth.
Yes, sir.
Which is
January 20th, 2003.
And you'll see the timestamp in the lower right. And your mom, Megan, is sitting in the hospital bed.
Yes, sir.
Having a conversation with your dad. Check it out.
What up there, babe? I like Jonathan James, and I want to call you JJ. You could have stuck it in your head. You weren't actually right. Oh, that's fancy. I like those names. Yeah. I'll call you JJ. Because you'll be Daddy's little quarterback. No. But if not, that's okay. If you like football, it's okay. It's totally okay. Wait till you see your room.
Daddy's little quarterback.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Crazy.
And then we've got there's the after photo right there.
There he is.
Wow. It's a big dog right there.
There's Daddy's quarterback right there. And Mom's too.
Yep.
Dude, man, I'm getting all misty just seeing that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit too, but it's a lot, from then to now that took place, and so much they sacrificed, and just unconditionally grateful for everything they've done for me, and it's only the beginning.
It is that, and just in terms of the journey, I know you had your own journey yourself about finding yourself, and the number of times that we've seen you meditating before a game. What's the story behind all that?
So
JJ?
the story behind that, my senior year of high school, it was during COVID, so a lot of people had similar experiences, and I went through a little form of depression, straight up, and I was sitting there on campus, miserable, not my normal self, and I had to figure out a way to pull myself out of it. And I started looking up great practices to improve your mental health, and meditation was the first thing that popped up. And once I put it into practice, once I started studying it to a great extent, I started realizing the benefits, and I started understanding that you have the ability to change your thought processes, change the way you view the world and your perspective on things. And once I started having that awareness and growing that awareness, it just was a practice that I could never stop because of the benefits that it gave me on and off the field.
And when did you start drawing a smiley face on your hand?
That
When
was
did that happen?
that was sophomore year of high school. It was my first loss against our arch rivals, the Marist Redhawks, and I had a bad game. And this little girl came up to me after the game when I was signing autographs, and after I finished signing a newspaper, she was just drilling me with questions. Why were you so mad? Why'd you look like you were not having fun out there? All this good stuff. And I just told her I was playing a bad game. And then she goes like, you need to smile more, and then drew the smiley face on my hand. And I was just like, wow, that's pretty profound for a 7-year-old. And then, it's just like the nature of it, the more you enjoy something, the better you're going to perform. Whether it's here, whether it's, whatever business, whatever profession you do. So I kept it on my hand the rest of the year. We went undefeated, won the state championship. So I was like, maybe this is a little something I should keep going.
Yeah, there you are throwing it. So, so how many games did you lose in high school, though? Just only two, right? So only one other than the one that caused her to draw a smiley face in your hand.
Yes, sir.
And
Well,
I know the answer to three. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, got it. And I know the answer to how many games you lost in college.
Yes.
Just the one.
Uno.
Just
Yes, sir.
one. And so the amount of winning that you've done and the amount of growing that you have done, how do you respond to people who say you weren't asked to do as much as a quarterback in the NFL needs to have done to lead a team to a championship?
What I was asked to do was to adapt to Coach Harbaugh's system. And it was a hard pill to swallow. I'm not going to lie to you, because I know the work I put in. I know the confidence that I have in myself. But, this is a system that has worked for him ever since he got into coaching at USD. So, being able to put my personal motives aside and do what's best for the team and follow my coach's orders, because that's what we're soldiers on the football field. We follow our, top of the command, and we do what they say. And, at the end of the day, having that experience where, I'm not thinking about myself, I'm thinking about we instead of me, is going to just carry over so much easier to the NFL, because there is that out there, but not as much in college. And being able to have that experience in a pro style offense, being able to understand situational football, how to control the game, how to win the ugly games, that's going to transition to the best, because it really comes down to those 2 minutes at the end of the game, right before half, all the little stuff that I learned playing at University of Michigan.
When you said it was a tough pill, give me some examples. Seriously, about
Penn State, the one that everyone talks about. That was a really tough pill to swallow, but going into it, it was a monumental part of the quest to where we wanted to get to. So, whatever we had to do to win is, what I'm signing up for. And Coach Moore told me in the receivers, it's going to be one of those games. And you didn't hear a peep out of us. You didn't see us, stutter at all. It was just, Roger that. Let's go to work. And, I got in there a little bit with the running game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, afterwards I asked Coach Moore, hey, what was it? Do you not trust me? Do you not have faith in my abilities to help play? And he said, absolutely not. I just felt this number 44, Chop Robinson, was going to tee off and have a game. So we had to adapt and, do what they have a hard time stopping, which is 9-on-7 football, and just keeping it between the tackles and just willfully moving the chains. And I totally get it with his all the pressure he was under, everything that led up to that game, with Coach Harbaugh being suspended, right when we touched down. It just at the end of the day, it was a hard pill to swallow, but we won, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly, and you wound up winning at the end of the day as well. And I have not heard you say, by the way, JJ McCarthy here on the Rich Eisen Show at the draft in Detroit, I've not heard you say, it was a tough pill to swallow. I didn't hear a boo or a peep, because I'm assuming you thought this could be my last run here,
yes,
and your draft stock is going to be in the balance in such a way.
Yes, sir.
And that's what we're hearing so much is like, well, you know what? He wasn't asked to throw, so he can't.
Yeah.
Not that you haven't complained about it. And just on behalf of everybody at Michigan, I saw you throw it in the horseshoe, and
sir.
the game kind of flipped when you started throwing it around.
Yes, sir.
So, but when you hear Jim basically say you're the best that's ever done it here at Michigan, that had to remind you, right, of
100%.
of the plan, the program, right?
Yeah, and that just jogged my memory. It was week 4 after we beat Maryland, and I was worried about the stats, and I was calling them and saying like, hey, like I wish we could, just open up the playbook just a little bit more. But he told me, hey, I just want you to know that the most important stat of a quarterback is wins and losses. Tom Brady, yeah, obviously he's got great stats, but his most important stat is that 7 rings he's got on his fingers. So just being able to hear that at such a young age and understand, this is what football's all about. It's winning. And, with the whole he can't throw and all that, it's just, all this is just projection. We have no idea who's going to turn out, who's going to be great. So it's just all based off of, the intangibles and the tangibles. And, I feel like I've done a great job, leading up to this process to make sure that those are dialed into a T.
Have you spoken to Brady at all?
Not during this process, but I have over the years extensively, for sure.
But not during this entire process, you're saying?
No, I actually spoke with Peyton Manning. He was kind enough to reach out and, give me some pieces of advice going into this thing.
You're willing to share? What do you say?
Not to, obviously this was the biggest thing he said. Respect the NFL, respect the speed, changes, respect the just immense amount of talent that's on the field every single day. But don't over-respect it. Don't, like, he got in trouble speeding up his footwork and trying to make decisions too quick and not being patient enough. Understand, C.J. Stroud, perfect example. He was that great balance of respecting but not over-respecting. So that was something that was huge, because going into it, I'm already over-respecting everyone on that field, whether it's at practice or on game day.
Yeah. Wow. I kind of know how it feels to be in your shoes with Jim Harbaugh a little bit, because I had my charity run at the Rose Bowl this past Sunday.
Right.
And you know what it's like to win at the Rose Bowl. And so I was having a good day getting ready to run my 40-yard dash.
No.
And Jim was there because my wife had reached out to him to shoot a video in support of the run to help promote it. And he, with Sarah and his kids, showed up. They were there. And I'm like, hey, would you mind taking part in this thing? And Chris was there as well, and you watched him basically grab a bullhorn.
He took over.
He took over. He took over. And I said,
not shocked.
Do me a favor before I run. Can you treat me like you treated JJ by slamming me on my shoulders and whatever? And here's that moment you're going to see on NFL Network this weekend. I want to show it to you first.
All right, Jim. Eisen, let's go. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's go. You got this.
Yeah.
Mind in a good spot?
Yeah.
You're the greatest. You're the best of all time.
All right, I'm the greatest.
Let her rip. Let her rip. Let her rip.
Hey, identical.
Is that right?
Identical.
Although I got to tell you, when he was jabbing me, like,
Oh, yeah.
he really was jabbing me.
Hey,
I
that's
didn't
one
have
thing
pads
about
on.
Coach Harbaugh. He's not going to half-ass anything. Anything. Yeah.
So that reminds you of that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the real deal.
Yeah.
Him saying that, did that get you fired up, or you're just like, I'm good, coach, I got it?
I mean, his whole thing with that is, when he was in Chicago, he was super nervous before his first game. And Walter Payton goes up to him and say, hey, just get hit. You'll be fine. And all the butterflies would go away. And that was always his thing, get that first hit. And he tries to get ahead of it. He tries to give you that first contact to kind of cool the butterflies down. But, you're already so locked in before the game. That's just like a routine thing that it's like, all right, it's time to go. right.
It's kind of more for
before
him,
kickoff.
I guess, than maybe than it is
Well,
for you.
plus it's also pretty cool that you could say, well, Walter Payton once told me. I would love to start any story with that. So you're here on behalf of Sleep Number, which is the official sleep and wellness partner of the National Football League. This may be awkward and weird, so be quiet, guys. My sleep number setting is 60.
60.
What's
Mine's
your
50.
Not too far off. Damn it! I wanted to have the same sleep number as JJ. Is that weird?
Understand. Well, you can
Hey,
change
you
it.
got to experiment with
You
it.
can
That's what
change
they were
yours.
telling me. So yeah, it could change.
It could
over time.
change.
I'm
You know,
more
it's-
on the stiffer end too. So
It's adjustable.
Yeah,
It's adjustable.
Definitely.
And so you're hanging out with Sleep Number and being part of their sleep and wellness program.
Yes, it's been amazing. You know, such great people with Sleep Number. Obviously, thousands of former and current players, you know, sleep on a Sleep Number bed. And, you know, just the quality of sleep is so key to your performance on
Yes.
the field. And just being able to make that partnership and get rolling with one of those smart beds, it's going to be amazing.
Well, I'm sure they're rooting for the Vikings drafting you, because that's where they're
That
located.
is right, yeah.
They're probably, you know, before they hit their sleep number at night, praying to the football gods that you go to the Vikings.
Yes,
Do you
no
have
doubt.
any sense at all before I let you go where you're going? Any idea? You think?
I mean, I have somewhat of an idea. New York Giants, I've spent the most time with. You know, they're a phenomenal staff. Love Coach Dable. Love, you know, Mr. Shane. Love Coach Tierney, Coach Kafka, Chicago guy. Just being able to go in there, pretty much know like most of the install, because Coach Dable came from Alabama and Coach Gaddis came to Michigan from Alabama. So it's similar formations, motions, plays, all that stuff. So being able to get that install in was been great. You know, I met with them twice. It's been amazing. Just throwing on Easter, never done that before, but that was sweet. But then, you know, New England and Washington just came from there, and just love the energy that's in that building. And you could tell the sense of urgency to rebuild and be on top and be competitive. And obviously Minnesota and Denver, you know, tremendous coaches, Coach Payton, Coach O'Connell. It would be an honor to play for any of these teams. But it's just going to come down to, you know, that's the funny thing about this process. They get to choose, and, you know, I'll be grateful wherever I go and make the most of it.
Brother, you are the best. I'm so thrilled that you're here on this show. It's a thrill for me to look you in the eye and say thank you.
Man.
Seriously.
Hey,
thank you
thank
for
you.
everything you led, and the way that you carry yourself
appreciate
is
that,
exactly
Rich.
what we talk about from my end of the thing with the alumni base, as being a Michigan man. So
Yes, sir.
truly appreciate you, and thank you for coming on this show, and I cannot wait to see what's next for you.
My man. Thank you so much.
JJ, you brought him so much joy, you have no idea.
No, he does.
It's the former Michigan men that paved the way for us. So thank you for always having our back throughout this past year. And thank you guys for, you know, always just, you know, kind of rooting for us. Obviously, he's rooting for us like crazy, but, you know, it's great.
That's what I do, and thanks for being here. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.